Is this thing on? I didn't even adjust the microphone yet. You got to do it haphazardly. Starting Stream Health, receiving your content. You're live, according to the YouTube live thing over here. So I will say hello to people. And they can tell me if I'm doing this right, which I believe I am. Welcome to Vlog Thursday, episode 109. Security is all just best effort. That is my thoughts so far for the day. Ooh, I just realized my Mystery Science Theater 4K. That's funny. I'm testing stuff right now, and yeah, very early. Well, maybe. I was going to do it earlier. That didn't go well for me. So now I'm doing it now, and I still only have my hard stop is in 25 minutes because I have an event to go to. So we're going to leave here because I got to leave here at 5 o'clock. Nothing is guaranteed. So we had a fun discussion about this. Before we get to that, let's play with things because I like to warm it up and wait till there's a handful of people here, and then I'll dive into the topic. But I have been absolutely swamped, and I think I may or may not have talked about this before. Anytime you find yourself really, really busy, you got to ask yourself why. And as an entrepreneur and business owner, I have to ask myself, how do I not be busy? How do I be doing the things I want to do? Hold on. I'm plugging my heater. It's actually kind of warm in my office. I have a heater I keep under my desk, because I'm in Michigan and it gets cold here. And anyways, so you try to put processes around things, and Brett's been helping me a lot with putting processes around things, making sure things go the way they're supposed to go. And so you go, all right, we put all this down, and we've now designed more processes. And I actually will talk about one of them real quick here. And Lawrence Systems, contact us. And the only part I haven't done really yet is a video on this. There's going to be filler in here. But what I realized is I love hearing from everyone, but it got to be a bit overwhelming. That's why I did the forums, so people can have another way to contact me and engage and not necessarily hire us. And that's what I wanted to make this for. So now our contact form has been reworded, redone, and this is all part of narrowing down. So if you want to hire us, you fill this form out. A lot of people started filling, well, not a lot, but enough, started filling the form out. Or I have a lot of random people who just start emailing things like our different email addresses, or they guess at email addresses, and they end up in buckets, and they can't believe that I'm not responding. And I'm like, you didn't fill out the contact form. And I can go in the buckets that collect to the weird email addresses that you think are my email addresses and reply. So I'm trying to get people down to a process because one of the challenges I have a lot of time is people understanding scope of work and what they want done. Absolutely, you can hire us to do this, that, or the other, but sometimes you need scope of work. And what some people don't like is when I tell them there's a fee to help them on the phone for an hour figuring out what their scope of work is. So that's sometimes a challenge. So, and I want other people just have questions about things and want to, as I put it now, continue the conversation of forums. So I have the link to the forums on the contact page. And that's what it's a suggestion like, hey, go ahead and go to the forums. Let's have a discussion on this topic. Let's carry on. I don't mind answering questions. I have hundreds of responses in the forums. I send out a lot of links and things like that. But when you engage with me on email, there's no chance for the class to learn, so to speak. And I'm really big on teaching people. So I want everyone to learn. So if you asked a question, you may have been someone brave enough to ask a question. For every person, I believe this very much true. For every person that's brave enough to ask the question, there's at least 10 that didn't. And they spend time Googling and searching things. Well, now by you asking the question they were searching for and then me replying to it, I have now saved those other 10 people who didn't ever ask the question the opportunity to ever ask that question, and they can just find the answer and get the answer they needed, like this or that or the other, of how something works. I guess it's all part of the process of, getting everything down. And of course, hopefully you've joined the forums by now if you're interested in our forums. Actually, I think I found a flaw, so let me go back to that real quick. I think I just clicked it and it went to the wrong spot. Contact us. You guys are watching real-time debugging. Oh, yes, it's wrong. That's funny. You should also have a Discord. Make starting No, Discord makes sharing way more difficult. Discord's too disorganized, so that's a problem. I don't understand how to organize it in Discord because I'd have to constantly be reading back through all the different threads. It's really difficult. Versus forums are static, they're linked, they're indexed by Google, they're searchable, they're all categorized, and we're adding more categories as needed, or you can just go here to the latest and see everything that's been posted. So this to me is way better than Discord. I don't really... I mean, I don't mind engaging in chat. I've even thought about integrating chat on here when I have time online, but I'm very focused I go through and I reply to everyone. If you look at the timing when I post something, you'll see within an hour me maybe having 10 replies because I sit down. This is the time I dedicate to replying to everybody, and I go through reply, versus trying to organize it. And Willie, if you need any tips or anything, want to talk about how I set these forums up, I'm more than I'll share everything I did. I did a video on it, but if there's anything you want to discuss on it, Willie, join the forums and we'll discuss it here. Feel free, Willie, to either if you want to share in the forums, let me know. We can talk offline about that. Or if you want to set this up, these forums are great. They're not hard to host. And they've been an excellent tool for me to engage with people. And if you look at some of the questions that people ask about networking and firewalls, some of these have gone very deep with a lot of other, not just me, there's a lot of other people responding on this. Discussions on home lab setups, where to buy things. People found links for some of this stuff that was on sale. I mean, this was it. Mousewitz did all kinds of, took the time to help troubleshoot this and discuss deals on there more. So it's crowdsourcing the whole idea. So I really like this. This is one of the reasons I'm trying to push more people towards that. For those of you that don't know or didn't notice, we have a lot more stuff to review. And like I said, Willie can come. Willie is more than welcome. He's a smart dude. He's more than welcome to post on my forums. This is the CloudKey UniFi Protect. I'm going to be doing some videos on this and this. I mute it because you don't need to hear this. That's Eric sitting at the desk. I don't know if he's on watching Vlog Thursday or not, but this is that new camera from UniFi. So you guys are seeing it. We're reviewing it. So yes, it's 4K. My monitor is not 4K. So yes, it's crispy. It's really good. When you let's grab a screenshot of it. We'll zoom in from here. Oh, it didn't pull down a 4K screenshot. I think there's a way you can, but you can see that this video is really nice on this. So there's got to be a way to download a 4K one. See, this is what happens before you do the review. This is why I review and learn them before I do a video, because you got to learn things. At the present, I have not learned things. I do know this. Fun note, it does have a optical zoom on it. So this is not digitally zooming, this is optically zooming. So yay, optical zoom. So that's the thing. Is it worth the $450 price tag? I don't know. How much resolution do you need? That's a really subjective thing. Not everybody needs that. So about 14 VLANs. Awesome. Thank you for your tutorials. Awesome. Thank you very much. Everyone's here. So, UniFi Proxmox container, but will it work? It should work fine. Yeah. What do I think on UniFi passing a $10 billion valuation? Woohoo! Interesting. They have a solid product lineup, so it's only that much more proof, so to speak, that they're a solid company. And for those of you that follow me on the Twitters, open a new tab real quick here, because someone's going to bring up, I can't believe I haven't seen MikroTik fly by today, but I'm going to bring up MikroTik before people have a chance to. MikroTik Firewall and NAT Bypass. This is fun. Follow me on Twitter, read the details. But yes, this is a bypass the firewall on MikroTik. So, I figured we can't have a Vlog Thursday without a MikroTik reference. So I'll bring it up first. Yay, MikroTik. Bye. Yeah. Anyways, So this is a fun read. I'm gonna do maybe a little bit of dive into it. I'm not sure, but whatever. But yes, that's something I'm definitely gonna be playing with. Is that I'm going to, and I started this video, but today was once again a few more things came up that didn't let me get everything done that I wanted to get done. But this is one of the lab Unify systems we have, and what this is specifically for. Tom, what's your Twitter? My Twitter is linked on my website. The Twitter's linked in all of the, every one of my videos. There's a link to my Twitter account, so it's super easy to find. I think I can post the link for those of you that want to follow me on Twitter. So hold on, let's see if can I post it in here too. Where's me? There you go. There's where my Twitter is. By the way, don't message me on Twitter. I will probably reply with the forums. I haven't built Twitter to auto reply, but when people send me detailed questions on Twitter, I reply with the forums. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm trying to just say, hey, this is a better. I want to discuss it in open forum as opposed to there. So I also don't accept direct messages. They get all filtered because I get too many of them sometimes, and I go through them when I got time. So, and I tell people that. Forums. So you can scream at me if I ever don't answer in the forums. That feel free then, because I told you to go to the forums. Security through obscurity is sad. Yes, it is. Oh yes, it's even under the stream. I've linked it everywhere I could possibly link it. So, anyways, feel free. Follow me on the Twitters. I'm going to be doing a video though on securing pfSense. Now, when I say securing pfSense, it is secure out of the box. It takes effort to insecure pfSense, but people want to know what to load on it. So I'm going to make like a general how we load up pfSense, our general configuration for it that we give to clients. And I'm going to talk through the why of each piece of that, because that's the other important part. Because I don't want to just say, click these buttons and do this thing. I want to talk about the why. And that way, the why is the use case, whether or not it is applicable to the way you configure things in pfSense. And I will bring up again that I've brought up and I did a specific video on is not wasting your time trying to use Squid. It's just not effective. pfSense does not do that great of a job when it comes to application level firewall. That is where if you have an absolute need for application level firewall, you will probably have to go with the commercial product that has better support for it. That's just the way of the market. And even those products that have better support for it, like the Cisco line of equipment, they have trouble with much of the application level stuff too. It is a giant cat and mouse game, and any company that implements application level firewall always has little quirks with it. None of it ever goes smooth. And the other problem is if you're trying to do it at the firewall level, it breaks. It breaks TLS 1.3 perfect forward secrecy. The reason why there's not a way to have both perfect forward secrecy and have inspection into the traffic at the firewall level. Those two things fight against each other. Could you do an OpenVPN install on Debian or Ubuntu? I did. I already have a video on that. So if you go through and look, I have one. I have one of setting up your own OpenVPN on a Debian system in the cloud. I did it on Linode. I could do it again on there. Updated my boxes to 1.2. I was waiting till the weekend to do it because there's nothing in there that is dramatically affecting us. Of course, none of ours are public facing. They're on lockdown networks, but yeah. It would blow your mind about liability on all that. Not really. We deal with that a lot. And that's one of the things that we get into with our clients is when you get, it's one of the reasons I'm picky about what clients I'll take on. When there's too much legal liability, we may avoid certain clients unless they're willing to pay for some of that. So yeah, it's just, and like Willie said, that's why he's got 17 pages. There's a lot of things. And I talked about this before when you get into pen testing. I was at, we host locally here in Detroit. It's a subgroup of DEF CON called DEF CON 313. It's a Detroit group there. We're trying to get it started up. It's a hacker group. But one of the things, we had a person there doing talk, and that's what he does is really high level stuff. But he has a few questions at the C-level side. So when he does his questions for the company, he's like, how far can I go with your staff? And this is why pen testing isn't just simple. Can I take them out for drinks? How can I threaten them? Because how much do you want to know about your security, and what do you want to put your staff through to make that determination? And I'm a huge fan. If you haven't seen Jay Street and his talks, he talks about that. He says, people leave their purses out. People have, they're leaving access so I can grab a hold of something. I can find out something personal about someone. Then, should that be part of the pen testing? That's a real thing, because you're asking a pen tester, how much of the bad guy do you want them to play? Do I call up and say something to you like that? So that's always, it can be a dicey situation. It's not just looking at the security. It's not just going, do you have some open ports, or do you have some out-of-date systems? It goes a step further. Now, some of the stuff that's a little bit less nefarious, because it's less about the physical natures of hacking, but the software natures, is running vulnerability scans against your own equipment. I have Parrot Linux spun up on my system. So that's going to be some videos I'm doing on that. Parrot Security, because it's a great tool. It's a great distribution where you can get started and do your own pen testing against your own equipment. Please, only things you have authorized access to do this. So, yeah. Some pen tests won't, because they have too much empathy for people. Yes, you have to be someone who is willing to set your empathy aside if you plan to do physical layer pen testing. You have to be able to boldface lie and realize the person you're lying to could lose their job for complying with your lie and not following their job. Jay Street actually addresses this. He comes up, and one of the pen tests he did was in a wheelchair, because he wanted to tailgate someone through a door, and he dressed up as an old guy who was crippled in a wheelchair. And do you help the guy with the wheelchair, or do you make him go through the same security? Well, they let him through. and so, and like he says, he goes, I'm playing the bad guy here, guys. You weren't supposed to let me through. But yeah, Uncle Joey, you're right. People can be the weakest link, but they're also always your first line of defense. So properly trained, they can be a good asset and a good filter, but it takes training to be able to do that. So yes, they can be the weakest link, but the other side of it is very much that they're an important aspect to your security stack, making sure that they've been trained, going through at least some regular phishing tests and regular pen testing with them to make sure they understand what to look for. And once you've trained them, you can find that even some of the more basic end users can be trained and can be taught that. So it's not, it's a mission that you have to take. You have to address it differently. You can only make the computer so idiot-proof. At some point, you got to train the idiots. No, it's the wrong way to say it, but you know what I mean. Some people, if they're, a lot, they want to learn, but they need to be taught in a way that's concise and understandable. So that's a important aspect of that. So I'm still impressed with this camera. This is, I think it's not bad. For you, off topic, I'm going to close that. Anyways, yeah, make sure that someone really called the elevator repairman. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, not that I think it's good in any way, but it's certainly relevant. There was a guy who had robbed a bunch of convenience stores of their ATMs by being the ATM repair guy. So he came in and would unbolt the ATMs and load them up in a truck and take them away right in broad daylight. And matter of fact, he would frequently use some of their dollies and stuff to help pick it up and get it out if he didn't have one with him. So, yeah. Oh yeah, the Steve Gibson. I tagged him in a tweet. I didn't listen to this week's Security Now, and I don't know if he's going to address it at all. But I'm like, really, it's that UniFi problem is such a, it's a problem, but it's a problem that you willfully have to do. Yeah, well, Kai White, Rob Walmart of Pallets of Beer, same thing. Yeah, so a lot of those are just so many things like those security problems with the UniFi. There's something you have to do. It is not an out-of-the-box problem. That's why, and Steve Gibson overall, I think, does a good job on things. It doesn't mean, and this is where security is just really, really tough. It's not that you can ever get everything right all the time. I work really hard to be right as often as possible, but yeah, you can only do so much. At some point, It's just really, really difficult to absolutely get it right all the time. I've actually, what I appreciate about Steve Gitson is he follows up frequently on things he gets wrong, and he follows up in his errata to make corrections on those things. And by the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing here, so this is the 4K camera. They're not exactly. I'm going to put them side by side. And this is running on our standard Unify video. And they both look pretty good. But this is, you can tell this is just way better. So I did upgrade. So I will, yeah, stay proactive, stay informed, Steve. But the sky is falling. Yeah, some people get that way. They get overly excited. I don't know. I'm getting more into, I'm going to have a more, like I said, a lot of what I'm restructuring my business right now for is to put more staff in place to take over functions of the business that I do. And as those get functions taken over, I really want to pursue more video. It's not like I'd ever leave the business because the business is still the source for my material. I just want to take a less functional role in the business. So I only take on certain projects and I send the staff out to do more of the other ones. It's kind of the overarching plan for how things are shaping up here, but it's going to allow me to do more videos, more security videos. Ideally, I'd like to produce 5 videos every single week. So that is definitely going to be part of the goal. Can I set my pfSense router up if my ISP doesn't support bridge mode? Yes, that's just called double natting. For example, this particular box that we're looking at right now is double natted because it's behind my pfSense. It's a pfSense behind a pfSense. So yes, absolutely. It can really be fine to do it that way. You just have to think differently, and you have to when you double NAT something, it's a headache because you have to port forward everything twice. For example, in a lot of the situations, unless you can do a full port forward or like port forward all ports to the pfSense and then handle it that way. So it creates some trickery, but yes, you can do it. It's functionally it will work. It's just 2 NATs. Just make sure that the NATs have different ranges from WAN to LAN, because if they're the same range, it'll have problems with routing if they're in the same range. It just won't work. Yeah, you will not get a public IP in that case. You are correct. Yeah, well, depends what kind of VPN. So if you're double natted, when you double NAT, you have to open up on the ISP's modem, whatever port for OpenVPN. I'm going to use OpenVPN as an example. You have to open up the port for OpenVPN, and then you have to open up it again on pfSense. If you want to do something like you wanted to do a IPsec VPN, it's a mess. It may or may not work depending on the whether or not you have support via the ISP's modem to pass through the IPsec information. So that's where it gets complicated. OpenVPN is really popular because it works over a single port and it cuts through NAT like butter. So it has no problem cutting through multiple layers of NAT on a single port. So that's hence the popularity of OpenVPN for that type of service. Woohoo! You know what? You know what I haven't looked at? I haven't logged into the Cloud Key itself, so let's do that together real quick, because I'm almost out of time, unfortunately. So this is BNT. Ooh. Firmware connected, active. Neat. Performance. This thing's cool. I can't wait to do each one of these. So we're going to do like a series of videos on it for how the Unify Protect system, how does it compare to the other system, how the settings work, da-da-da-da-da. So it's kind of neat. Cool, close that. All right, back over to this. Where did I lose it? All right. Can you make a WireGuard tutorial? No, I'm not planning on doing any WireGuards until it's official. So it's not well supported yet. So they're working on it. But yeah. Do you have any videos on how to set up OpenVPN? Lots of videos on OpenVPN. Morningtown from Tokyo. Awesome. Any news on a Duo acquisition? Nope. They've not released any information at all. So yeah, nothing really new to say there on the Duo. AT&T is pushing for managed routers here in Texas. No thanks, customers want control over their own firewalls. Yeah, I don't blame them. Netherlands, awesome. I actually had a client he paid us for some consulting from Sweden. I thought that was always cool. I always laugh because he started out with, "I hope my English is good enough." I'm like, you speak better than most of the people I deal with here, right? So you are more articulate than many of our own customers. I'm gonna throw that out there. So that's definitely a thing. So, before I go, as I got a couple more minutes before I'm gonna leave here, what are some of the questions you might have? Want to see a live feed of our parking lot? No one asked. I just felt I'd show it to you. It's not snowing here in Michigan. It's still cold out. There's still snow over here, but it's not actually cold out. And the lens is dirty on this. That's why it kind of looks faded like that. I already know it's dirty. Norway. Is it cold in Norway? Probably. Anybody in the front counter? Yeah. Anyways, what else you guys got for me question-wise? Anything in particular? How is the hole in my backyard? It got expensively deep. I started, like I said, I quit measuring it in feet, started measuring it in dollars. It's filled in, it's fixed. My toilet's flush. And my bank account flushed with it. So that's how that hole went. The whole process sucked. That's all I gotta say. I think I have, and let me find it. Yeah, I got a video I could share with you guys or whatever, but there's nothing I can really say other than it sucks. Invoice Engine installation. I don't know if I'll do a video on it. Their documentation is excellent, really good. So, fast roaming and UT access points. I bought 2 AC lights, have a controller, and Raspberry Pi. I don't know the question about fast roaming you have there. Hot here in NZ. Do you have any OpenVPN setup vids? Lots of them. Type in OpenVPN on a search of my channel. So. Have I experimented with a ClamAV plugin for FreeNAS or ClamAV in general? I'm not going to think it's all that great. I haven't used it in years, like at least 10 years ago was the last time I used it. I don't know how good it is. How's that? You unify video to Google Drive? I don't think there's any way to make that happen. So that's, yeah. Following the WireGuard progress. Yeah, we've actually talked about it on the podcast. We've talked a couple times about WireGuard. Something I will note we can talk about right now about WireGuard. WireGuard BSD. This is what people have been asking about. So there was an announcement made. Now, this is not official yet. But it looks like they may port it over to FreeBSD. Don't know for sure, but if they do, awesome. And it's kind of the same thing. The pfSense people don't have a problem integrating it, but they need to have a BSD installation. Now, it's upstreamed into the kernel, so it's going to be built into Linux, which is awesome. That's what we want. I'm excited about it as a VPN, but until it gets mainstream support and has been really well vetted, that's when it's something I'll be talking about and using. So ready for containers, built-in roaming, crypto key routing, like everything about it sounds really cool. But it's a little scary because it runs inside of the kernel interface. So that you got to make sure when something's running at kernel level that it's done really well. But Linus reviewed some of the code and really liked it. So let's see. What do we got here? But WireGuard on Linux or BSD. I bring up BSDs because people ask about whether or not it's going to end up in pfSense. pfSense is based on BSD, so therefore it has to be supported in a BSD. So I bring it up for there. So, and also I haven't had a reason to stop using OpenVPN. It works so well. Ain't broke, don't fix it. Is part of the thing with the reason I like OpenVPN. It's solid. It's easy to configure, and it works really well across a lot of networks. Virtualized FreeNAS install. Yes, you can do it as long as you're passing through the controllers. So awesome. That is a good idea to do it that way. pfSense dual WAN. ISP's PIP is the same subnet. Yeah, you can't have the ISP's. Wait, dual WAN, but IPs in the same subnet. I guess I don't understand the question. On the WAN side, it doesn't matter. No, certainly not Linus Tech Tips. Linus Tech Tips. He's been around for a long time, but he doesn't do a whole lot of in-depth VPN videos that I'm aware of. He is more towards the consumer products and things like that. That's just how his channel has morphed into, or I guess it always was there. He did a lot of motherboard reviews and things like that. He's not really an enterprise tech guy, so he doesn't cover as much into the firewalls and things like that. So still a good channel. He does well. Hats off to Linus Media Group. They're the OGs doing this stuff. They've been doing this for a long time. There's a lot that I can learn from there. So VM inside of FreeNAS, maybe. Beehive just got some more updates with the U2. So if you go and look, I tweeted today, and this is from a couple days ago, but I'll be doing a video on this once we finish updating more servers. Well, wrong link. I'll find it. Anyways, the new U2 update. I haven't loaded on all the servers yet. So once I have it loaded, I'll talk about it, but there's some Beehive updates too. Yeah, Linus is very entertaining. That's part of it too, being on YouTube. I mean, if I was drier on this, maybe you wouldn't watch as many of my videos. I try to be informative and maybe a little bit of entertaining. Maybe, I don't know. He did a great vacuum review. I wanted a vacuum, so maybe I should tell him I'll do a vacuum review. We did a vacuum review. We did it before Linus, just to do it. It was part of a joke, but there is a vacuum review video. If you dig around on my channel, we reviewed a vacuum. So, it happens. Yeah, migrate to XC. I'm still XCP-NG all the way. It's what I'm happy with. So, yeah, and I'm going to do some more videos. I ordered a few more of them for some people. Maybe I'll do some giveaways too coming up. The SG1100s, those are great. I'm really happy with them. So we ordered a few more to have around, and for the staff here, they wanted them, so I'm getting them all for their houses. How many clients do you have on a single UniFi controller, and not endpoints, but different sites? I'm not going to do this because it'll list my client names. I'll log in right now and tell you. How many people are on here? And where does it tell me that? I know it does. I think there's an all sites option. Sites overview. My controller in my office, 40 something businesses that we manage on ours. That's our controller that we're running. Oh, and I will do this. So that many businesses, and there's tons of things on there. This is running. It's using 2.8 gigs. Out of 4 gigs of RAM, hardly any processor on it right now. And by the way, it also is running this. This is the same thing running the camera server. So it doesn't take much to run it. UniFi's pretty efficient. So, I've joked around and gave crap about them building it on Mongo and Java, but despite building it on Mongo and Java, it's not using that much memory for the amount of features that I have with the system. So if you look here at the top, and I'll drag this site over, 192.168.3.6, 192.163.6. They're both running on the same server, and it's only using there. MongoDB just seems to be a little bit sensitive. That's why I'm not a big MongoDB person compared to, I'm more of a MySQL person. MySQL is granted much bigger, more robust, more scalable. Mongo's designed for the smaller things. So, yeah. Oh, no, I manually installed Zabbix. I followed their steps. They have such great documentation. Zabbix is wonderful. This is great. This is my easy way to know if there's a problem with my stuff in the morning. So, yeah, I don't like Windows Ubuntu, Windows UniFi controllers. So, not a fan. So, But the instructions on Zabbix are great. I don't know if I may I'll get around doing some more Zabbix videos, but I really like Zabbix. It works wonderfully. You can't say enough good things about it for measuring and understanding what's going on in your network at a glance and setting up notices for it. So definitely a cool system for that. I never really got to talking about a couple of things. I am going to be doing a video about Huntress Labs. I'm going to be, all my stuff is always on Linux. My computer runs Linux. I run Pop! OS. All my backend servers. This is the back end of my company here. You notice the little Debian sign, Debian. Oh, by the way, it's always going to be pretty much the latest versions of Debian for everything. It'll be 10 soon enough running these. Even here, 9.7, 9.8. I always keep all this on there. My only exception is because of the way it ships. FreePBX runs on CentOS. So that's my only exception to Debian. And of course, I run the BSD distros for FreeNAS and things like that. So yeah. Raspberry Pi, we have a Raspberry Pi shredder. So look that project up called the Raspberry Pi Shredder. You can look it up. Zabbix runs as a VM in XCPNG. That is correct. This is the VM for it. So this VM is the Zabbix VM. You're looking at it live. And we can always do this too. I'm going to do a video on this because people ask me about what let me make the terminal bigger. So from a management standpoint, we use everything with SSH keys. And if you notice, I typed SSH Zabbix and it went in. This is because there's a config file that controls and orchestrates all this between my systems and my computers. So Zabbix is also pretty lightweight as well. I've only got 4 processors assigned to it. Zabbix running right now is using 445 out of 2 gigs of RAM. So 445 megs, that's it to run Zabbix. Super lightweight. But this server runs more than Zabbix. So Zabbix is technically that. I have it doing some syslog collection, and it's running a couple other little things on here I was messing with. So yeah, I don't do much with Docker. Docker's neat. It's maybe on my to-do list. I like Docker. If we are running Docker for our forums. So for those of you that wonder how the forums work, this is all a series of Docker connections. So for anyone wondering, see, here's the containers, proxy Docker. I might do some not Docker videos. I mean, I use it somewhat, and I love it for the forums because of the way the forums work. I just pull a new Docker container each time, which is really handy to do. But yeah, other than that, so Java update on Ubuntu's a pain. Well, Java's a pain. We'll just leave that. Unified Video does not pick it up immediately. Yeah, some of the Java updates can be a pain. All right, I'm going to wrap this up because I have another event to go to today. So like I said, I had to decide if I wanted to do this before the event or after the event. This is I won't be home till late after this event, so I just didn't feel like doing it from home. I've been trying to relax a little bit and play some video games. So yeah, that's the thing. Oh, and for those of you, someone will point out, hey, you got an IP address. Yes, I do, right here. This IP address, in case anyone's wondering, dig forum. Let me move my head out of the way. You guys see what I'm typing here. If you dig forums.lawrencesystems.com. Oh, look, there's that IP address. It's our public forums for those of you wondering. So, yeah. This is there's a local event called IT in the D that's where I actually be at today. So it's not I guess it's a making money event. That's where I meet customers and network with people in person and things like that. So that's definitely going to be something I'm doing. And then after that, I don't watch much TV, but I find shows that I like. Umbrella Academy. I got to finish that. And then I started playing a game. I started playing The Division, so I'll be playing that for a little while. So, and I'll share with you something else I found that was good. Here, I'll drag one of my photos over. Habanero whiskey. So I'll be enjoying some mango habanero whiskey tonight, handcrafted. So, as always, continue the conversation over in the forums. That's where you can reach out, and always networking with real physical people. Maybe some of them you want to choke with Cat 5, but it doesn't necessarily involve Cat 5. So yes, I'll be networking with physical humans and that fun stuff, and sharing some drinks with them and having a good time and talking business. I actually might be picking up another MSP client that I hopefully will be meeting there tonight. So I still do some of the sales things and stuff like that. That's still a hard process to outsource. But look for more videos up and coming. Oh, also, if you haven't done so, update your XCP-NG. New features have been added. They have Extent 4. I haven't done a video, and as I tweeted it, I just haven't had time to cover it in a video. But with the latest release of the XCP-NG server now supports. Does it tell you here? I don't know. Somewhere it tells me. Anyways, the server now supports Extent 4 and some other new features. So I'm going to be doing some more videos on that because it's going to help people who, there's a forum post right now about slower hard drive performance, and that can help you with some of that there. So, all right. I am off. Eventually we're all going to be cyborgs. We're just going to get wetware implants and not have to leave the room anymore. And that's a whole different, in-person networking. I've done videos a few times on this. If you look for my biz videos, it's still, we live in a digital age, but people still connect with people they like. And that's the thing. So look for these Unify Protect videos that are coming up. That's the reason for that. And I'm going to close all these windows I have open. On out here. Hey, look.
Should I give her that option now?
That's my staff doing stuff. All right, I'm going to get off here so I quit screwing around. Bye.